And we live. Just give me 1 second, guys, because you guys already know that I need to use my other phone to go on. And so I can see all the comments. Okay. Perfecto. So, guys, if you notice a different background, yes, I am doing my live from my bed. I'm doing my live from a very comfortable spot in my house. I've decided to do that, well, to be a little different, but more importantly, to be more comfortable. Okay. And if there's any comfortable spot in my house, it's my bed. Okay. I hope you like the background. I guess I'm a lights person. I love lights all over the place. It gives me that. Hi, Chitan. Hi, Cicely. Hi, guys. It gives me that nice, warm feeling, and you know how you guys know how I am. I like to just be in that cool vibe and that cool. So, guys, let me start off with the intro. Welcome to Intuitive Vibes Narc Survival 101. It's your girl Erica here. For anyone who is not familiar with the channel, if you're just peeking in, you're just checking it out. Stick around. You might hear something that you need to know that may pertain to your situation. You are going to meet some really awesome people. I always encourage people to get to know one another on here. And if you like today's session, then be sure to check out my content. And if you like my content, then be sure to subscribe. That way you're notified each time I put up a video. And of course, each time I do a live, which is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, hi Yashua. How are you, sweetheart? So guys, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Great start to your week. The weather's getting beautiful out there, guys. I'm from New York. It's starting to get really, really nice. It's that spring feeling. And I got the color to go with it, because you guys know me. I'm very eccentric. That's just who I am. So I hope you guys have a great start to the week. Just a couple of things. I was able to record another testimonial with a very strong, very, very lovely young woman. Her name is Leah. I'm going to be posting that up this Thursday for Testimonial Thursday. And definitely be on the lookout for it, guys, because it's a very, you have a lot of different people who have gone through all types of abuse, all types of situations. Okay, Yashua, just give me one moment. Okay, honey? You have a lot of different people who go through so many different things. And I really believe that when you guys see this video, you're really going to, hi, Heather. Hi, sweetheart. You guys are really going to understand how deep it can get. Okay. Her story does show true strength. And, a lot of people say that it takes a lot of strength to leave a situation. It takes a lot of strength to break from it. But in actuality, it does take a lot of strength to stay, especially when you love a person and you just, you're trying to make the best out of situations, and you're trying to see, the good in people. So definitely be on the lookout for it, guys. I'm also going to put the link to her channel in the description box under the video as well. I really, really think that you guys you're going to get definitely get a good pearl of wisdom out of it. So definitely be out on the lookout for it. Testimonial Thursday. If you are interested in giving your testimony, if you are a survivor of narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse, any forms of abuse, whether it be in a family dynamic or in a romantic relationship, then please definitely shoot me an email so we can go over the details and, posting up your story and seeing if you can help people out, because a lot of people need it, guys. A lot of people really need it. Other than that, I think that's really mainly it. Doing a lot of different things, guys. We're doing a lot of different things. Yasha, you can ask your question now. I haven't forgotten about you. And what else, guys? I was talking to Amanda before doing the live, and she was asking me what the topic of discussion will be today. And again, we're going to wing it, guys. We're going to wing it. You know, we answer questions, we talk to one another, we help one another out, and we get each other through it. That's what we're here for. Okay, Yashua, can narcissists be under any zodiac sign or their birth chart? Can it tell you? Yashua, I think when it boils down to the zodiac, a lot of people like to reference certain personalities based on their zodiac sign. I don't really, I mean, listen, for entertainment, you know, we look into it for entertainment purposes, but the reality of it is that the zodiac sign does not decipher a narcissist personality. Okay. I'm a Capricorn. You guys know me. A lot of people know me. I'm a very, you know, I'm me, you know, and to know me is to love me. But you do have Capricorns that are narcissists, and you have Capricorns that are very demanding and very controlling. I mean, we're known to be the dominant, the cardinal sign. We're known to be a very, you know, we're the goat, guys. And speaking of which, since I am the goat, because it represents Capricorn too, I'm the goat. I was talking to Amanda about this. Yashua, I'm going to finish answering your question too. I was talking to Amanda about it, and the goat, like a herd of goats, a group of goats, is actually called a trip. So think about it, guys. You know, if we're the goats, and by the goats, GOAT, we all a trip up in here, right? So, you know, Capricorns are cool people too, by the way. You know, we're very, very loyal. We're very, very loving. We're very caring. But just like you have the good Capricorns, you have the bad ones too. So you gotta, you know, take it hand in hand. But Yashua, zodiac signs are, it's really, it's just a way for people to, in my opinion, it's a way to kind of like, just to judge people, you know, like if you have someone who dated a Gemini, and, you know, let's say a couple of Geminis in their lives were narcissistic, or, you know, just plain a-holes, every Gemini is going to be an a-hole to them. You know, that's just the way it is. But I actually look at it this way. When people say, well, you know, my ex was a Leo, and he was, you know, he was a complete psycho, and Leos are just, you know, so demeaning, so, you know, so vulgar and so aggressive, and so, nah, you weren't dating a Leo. It doesn't matter if he's a Leo, you were dating a fucking psychopath. You're a sociopath, you know. They could be any zodiac sign, you know. They could be a Virgo, they can be Taurus, they could be anybody, you know. A lot of I think a lot of serial killers were under the Virgo signs. No offense to you Virgos, love you guys, or at least some of you guys, not all. Sorry, can't say all, but I love some of you guys. But you don't play too much into that. Don't look too much into that in correlating zodiac signs with narcissists, because you'll sit there thinking that, you know, every Aquarius is a sociopath, because, you know, you dealt with a sociopath who happened to be an Aquarius. But it's there's a lot of different things. You know, your personality is based on just you in general. It's based on your environment. It's based on how you internalize things and how you handle things. It's not based on your zodiac sign. We would love to compare it, but unfortunately, that's not the case. One trend, don't worry about it. You'll always have support with us. So that's, you know, no matter what, you'll have support with us. Heather, my mom was a Capricorn. I miss her. You know, I mean, listen, you got me, girl. So, I mean, I may not be able to fill the shoes, but the Capricorn part, I could definitely fill that for you. Ask Amanda, she'll tell you. Chatan, my ex-narc even slept with a childhood friend of mine during our relationship. That friend told a common friend of mine. I had a doubt that something was on with them, but they both refused. Yeah, Chatan, when they're denying, it's pretty much, you know, clearly a narcissist is not going to tell you right off the bat that they were dealing with someone else, that they were sleeping with someone else. But if you do find out the truth and you do find out the facts, chances are, either way you think about it, even if you have it like concrete proof, they're always going to try to find a way to flip it and manipulate and just, victimize themselves. Okay. So even if you were sitting there and you had, like, in the pit of your stomach, something wasn't right in the pit of your stomach, you're just like, something's not right with this person, or something, there's something going on, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Go with your gut. But I always say, don't act on something unless you actually have proof of something, because you want to be, you want to be sure that what you are accusing someone of, you actually have that concrete proof of it. But if your gut is really pushing you in the direction of, this just is driving me crazy, it's not, it's not worth the stress, it's not worth the headaches. Really, really isn't. But either way, like, even if you did have the proof, at least you have the proof for yourself. But if you ever confronted a narc and you actually had the proof, and letting them know, I know that you were sleeping with this person, or I know that you were dealing with this person, they are going to find ways to turn it around and make themselves the victim. They will they will deflect, they will shift blame, and because they're caught. Whenever a narcissist is caught in the act, or if they're, the proof is just pretty much laid out in front of them, even though you're sitting there, listen, some of us may have like that smug look, like, yeah, I caught you, now what do you have to say for it? They're always going to find a way, guys. They're always going to find a way. They're going to find a way to just flip it on you and say, well, I wouldn't have cheated on you if you were paying more attention to me, or if you were fulfilling this relationship more, if you were giving me more attention, I wouldn't have gone out of our relationship. It's always going to be something. And they will not take accountability for it. So they're not going to sit there and say, I apologize for cheating on you, I apologize for doing this. They're going to always try to find a way to flip it back onto you. You're the reason why they cheated, or it could be a number of things, but one of those things will never be accountability. So Chitan, though you had the idea, and you had, in the pit of your stomach, you were thinking this is what was going on, and of course we know that with narcissists, 9 out of 10 times when they are accusing you of things in your dynamic, in your relationship, it's usually them really confessing as to what they've been doing. They're pretty much giving themselves away. So even if you're just sitting down and you're, let's say you're having breakfast, or you're sitting down watching TV, and they just come out of nowhere and say, oh, are you sleeping with this person, or are you dealing with that person, or are you, meeting secretly with this person? That's them giving themselves away, because it's not guilt, guys, but it's more that it's like, you can't do this to me, but I can do it to you. And because I'm doing it to you, I'm paranoid that you're doing it to me. You understand? They walk around with that paranoia. So, it's really stupid, because at the end, they still end up doing a discard. They still end up doing the things that they're doing. So it's like, what the hell's the point? It's to drive you insane. And it's to really break you down, like literally break you down. They're very sad people, guys. Cicely, can you talk about breaking, excuse me, got a hair on my phone. Can you talk about breaking soul ties? I could tell you how I broke my soul tie. Everyone is different, but breaking a soul tie, it's similar to, well, a soul tie is more on a spiritual sense. An energetic cord is more on that, like that scientific sense, you can say. In actuality, breaking a soul tie, I did it more in that spiritual sense, where I did turn to God. I really turned to God. I turned within myself, and I pretty much, it's really washing your hands with these people, and trying to remove that residual energy. It goes hand in hand, Cicely. It's like, that they say the energetic cord, right? When you become attached to someone, you're energetically attached to that person. All right. Which is, when, like, for example, if you're not thinking about the person, but then they just pop up in your head. And people say, that's because that person is thinking about you. When you become attached to someone, you're sharing energy with one another. You're sharing, you're sharing a bond with someone else. That energetic core, you energetically, for example, we are all energetically connected, if you believe that or not. We're all energetically connected. And by you becoming involved with people, you're sharing energy with these people. Now, if you are constantly, you find yourself, especially after a discard, you find yourself constantly thinking about the person, okay? Because you're in a stage of obsession, all right? And it's normal, guys. It's normal when you are going through a discard, or it's happened and some time has gone by and you're still trying to break free from it. You are in that stage of obsession. So a lot of your focus is going on to that person, okay? That person can, because you have that cord, can feel you and your energy, all right? Just like you can feel that person and their energy. So if there's ever been a time you're like sitting there have been times that I'm sitting down and I have absolutely no reason to feel down, feel depressed, feel anything. But there have been times where I felt like a dark, gloomy, like a weight on me that I just couldn't understand why. It's usually because that person is putting a lot of focus, or someone who has, if you're feeling down and dark and gloomy, it's someone who has a lot of negative energy around them that they are putting their focus onto you. People can manifest negativity in your life. Believe it or not, guys, they can do that. That's why they say, think positively all the time, and even fake it till you make it. You got to keep the positive energy around you. When it comes down to a soul tie, you created the soul tie with the person the minute you came. I wouldn't even say the minute you became, involved physically, in the sense of you came in contact with them. A soul tie is mostly created when you are intimate with the person. Okay. You guys are passing energies between one another. And when you create that soul tie, you're creating a soul tie not only with that person, but with other people that they've been involved with, especially if they're walking around with entities, energies, what have you. When they're walking with those type of energies from other people, what I've learned with my soul tie was you have me, who has nothing but good intentions. I'm a very lighthearted person. I like to be happy. That's always been my thing. And then if you put me with someone who's been negative all the time and constantly walking around with that darkness, and that's all based on every other thing that has gone on in their life before I even entered their life, they're passing that on to you. You became intimate with this person. Everything that they have on them latches on to you. Okay. Breaking the soul tie is simply detaching yourself. That's all it is. It's detaching yourself, in that you're not feeding it. You're not feeding them any energy. You're not feeding them any attention. You're not giving into their wants, their desires. You're not doing any of those things. You are just pretty much releasing yourself. And if you notice, I don't know if you have noticed, or if you're at this stage yet, out of sight, out of mind. That's been my motto. Out of sight, out of mind. The more you do not think of something, like the more, this is why I tell people, if you're going through a discard, guys, block them. Block them. Block them from your social media. Do not go looking at their social media. Do not go looking through their stuff. Do not go by their homes. Do not do any of those things. And this is the part where you have to be extremely, extremely strong. You have to block them out of your mind, because when you block them out of your mind and you block everything that they're doing, over time, if you've noticed, I don't know if some of you've already done this, but what I've noticed over time was, the less I thought of the person, the less I looked at things, because you go looking for stuff, guys, you're going to find it. And that's what keeps that soul tie going, when you're feeding into it. But if you stop feeding it, what happens when you stop feeding something? It dies. It dies. When you stop feeding energy, when you stop feeding thought into it, when you stop thinking about it, over time it becomes easier and easier, because that person is no longer a thought. They're no longer, you kind of push them back to your subconscious, but they're no longer on your mind. And that person, I mean, the only thing of it is that person, when you're no longer being baited, when you're no longer reactive, you're no longer giving in, you're no longer saying anything about anything that they're doing, you're no longer, one thing I've noticed, when I went through my discard, he was doing what he was doing because I kept reacting to it. I kept reacting. I kept opening my mouth. I kept saying, how could you? I kept saying, you're hurting me. Why are you doing this? I didn't do anything to deserve this. I kept doing all these things. And not only was he projecting onto me, he was, with narcissistic rage, and he was really like throwing it on me. He was doing more and more and more to spite me. And I didn't understand why. I didn't understand what I had done to deserve it. So when I had decided to go on a hiatus, and I removed all my social media accounts, when he noticed that I was not responding, I was not responsive, in my mind, I detached. I said, no, I'm going to get you out of my mind. So I had to remove him from my thoughts. It did at a later time warrant communication from him, and surprise, surprise, it wasn't my birthday, but it did warrant communication from him. I was still healing, trying to heal. That kind of, it did set me back. It set me back a little bit, but it was pretty much, it's a hard thing to do, but just breaking the soul tie, I went to God. I asked God to help me with breaking it. I asked God to remove him from my heart, remove him from my mind. I asked God to just, keep all of that, all of what he has around him away from me. I asked him, and it was a hard thing to do, but I did it. And I managed to get on from it. Um, in breaking that soul tie, especially when you're trying to get right with God, yeah, the devil's going to attack you even more, because, narcissists, people who are narcissists, people who are extremely narcissistic, are people that are surrounded by very dark energy, very dark entities, very mischievous, manipulative energy. It's a lot of you call it energy, a lot of you call it entities. We respect both sides, but it's very mischievous, it's very dark, it's very deceitful, it's very, it's pretty much, in that spiritual aspect, it's demons. They're surrounded by demons, and these demons are putting things in their head. These demons are putting things in their head and creating that whole arena of sabotage. But if you want to break it, like I said, out of sight, out of mind. Okay. If you, and yes, they may make attempts. If you do this, they may make attempts to reach out to you. They may try to get some kind of reaction out of you. They may try to, message you or call you or visit you to kind of bring you back into that state of mind. And I fell for it for a short time. I did relapse, and I reached out to him afterwards, and it was just, it didn't feel natural. At first it did, but God gave me the reality of it, and it didn't feel natural afterwards. And once I decided to completely remove myself and completely just detach from this person and whatever demons they got, and whatever people they involved themselves with who also got demons on them, it became it became a lot easier. But breaking soul ties, honey, is just about detachment. It's detaching yourself, and it's going to take you some time, especially if you've been involved with the person a long period of time. But it can happen. It's possible. It is definitely possible. It's doable. You just got to stick with it. You got to stick with it. So don't just talk about it. Be about it, and really stand your ground with it. For justice, my mom is a Libra narc. X is a Scorpio narc. If it laugh out loud, if it helps. Yeah, I mean, listen, Libras are cool people. I know a few Libras. My moon sign is Libra, believe that or not. My moon sign is Libra, and it's like, it's about the scales. But again, you have some Libras that are nice. You have some Libras that are good people, and then you have some Libras that are narcissists. Scorpios have been known to have a bad reputation in a sense, because that particular zodiac sign is considered to be dark. It's considered to be malevolent. It's just pretty much like, a dark rooted sign. I've met some good Scorpios. I've met some pretty shitty, fucked up Scorpios. So it depends. It really, really depends. It depends up here, within that person. That's really what it depends on. Hi, Lori. Hi, sweetheart. Let's see. Chatan, what a devil and a demon I was dealing with. All the while talking to me about marriage and stuff. Yeah, that's love bombing, honey. I love you too, Heather. Chatan, that's love bombing. That's just pretty much, love bombing, it's future faking. So it's pretty much like abuse, but then giving you like that, we'll get married, we'll have kids, we'll live together, we'll do all of this or whatever. That's all future faking, It's pretty much to kind of give you, it's to give you incentive, like, and one of the things I was talking about with Leah yesterday in our recording was, it's we focus on the good times, we focus on the good aspects, the days that we were smiling, the days we were laughing, the days they were making you feel good, and they'll throw that in there. In those days, they'll throw that in there. Well, when we get married or we move in together, we do this or we do that, they'll slip that in there. But when it boils down to the abuse, it goes hand in hand, because 1 minute it's that Jekyll and Hyde. 1 minute they're okay, they're cool, they're calm, and then the next minute you don't really recognize the person that you're dealing with, and it's like, yo, what in the world is going on? Like, and when you try to communicate with them, of course, they're not good at communication. They're not good at expressing any emotions. They're not good at any of these things. They take it as criticism. They take offense to it. They just basically are like, you're trying to tell me what to do. You're trying to tell me how to feel. And it's like, no, it's not even like that. Why are you taking this the wrong way? And, oh, well, you're telling me that, that I'm blowing shit out of proportion. It's always going to be something. It's always going to be something, and it's like, that's really not a headache me personally, it's not a headache I want to deal with. I really don't. It got flipped over to the point where my ex asked me if I was bipolar. And I'm like, what, are you serious? Like, I'm not bipolar. Like, I got called bipolar because I started seeing shit for what it was, and I started to call certain things out, and I was not happy with it. And I did not like certain things. And because I didn't like certain things, and because these types of people don't like to be called out on their shit, they're going to flip it around on you. But the reality of it is that you have been so mind fucked in your relationship that anybody would think that you have split personalities, because it's just like, yo, 1 minute you're cool with me, you're happy, you're loving me, you're hugging me, you're kissing me, you're doing all of this, and then the next minute you're like a psychopath. What's going on? Like, what did I do? And it just, for me, it got to the point where I was like, what am I fighting for? What am I fighting for? What am I trying to, why am I trying to be in this person's life when they're clearly showing me that they don't appreciate me, they don't value me, they don't respect me? And when you get to that point, you start to see, where they didn't see your value, you start to see it more and more and more, especially when you detach. When you detach and you go outside of the situation and you start to think from a logical aspect, it's down. It's done from there. Completely done. Tracker, I can relate to the reactive abuse. The narc feeds off your reaction and makes you look bad. 2-for-1 deal for the narc. Yeah, they'll triangulate. They'll basically, because they've already set the stage, right? They've already, had people thinking it was a one-sided deal. You were the one who was unemotional. You were the one who was cold. You were the one who was callous. Or you were the one who was constantly accusing. You were the one who was paranoid. You were the one who was, doing everything that was wrong in the relationship. It was all on you. And of course, because they get to people, and not just in romantic relationships and family dynamics, they get to other people, they paint that picture for them. I mean, and then you're reacting to their bullshit, but they're doing it covertly. So these people are not only hearing what the narcissist or what the manipulator is telling them, but they're seeing you react. And it's amazing how a narcissist can play it off so cool, where it's like, I'm not doing anything. What are you talking about? But the reality of it is you see it. You see what's going on. You see what's happening. You know how many times I reacted, and everybody else on the outskirts of everything was looking at it like, oh, well, he's living his life. He's doing his thing or whatever. Like, I mean, guys, I didn't exist. It was done. I did not exist at all. And yet he knew how to do what he wanted to do, because he knew that it was going to sting me. He knew it was going to hurt me. And he didn't give a shit. He didn't care. He didn't care about, and when I would respond and I would say something about it, then he would curse me out. What the fuck are you talking about? Then, you guys know the whole nine. And I'm like, yo, you seriously are not being logical right now. Like, you are seriously, like, I'm a woman who was in your life for, these past few years. I treat you like a man. I treat you like a king. I don't disrespect you. I've respected you wholeheartedly. And this is how you treat me. And no, I'm not going to stop talking about it, because at the end of the day, the way I look at it is this: people are going to look at me regardless and have their opinions. And I don't give a shit. But I'm not sitting here doing this to hurt him. I'm not sitting here doing this to say, oh, he's a piece of crap or whatever. I mean, listen, he made shitty choices, but that's on him. But I'm here to do this to help other people to understand and realize that these people know what they're doing, guys. They know what they're doing. And the more they keep you in the fog, the more they keep things clouded for you, and the more they try to like really run that game on you, the more you stay stuck in it, it's win for them. It's win for them. And it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't have to be that way. You guys can have healthy relationships with people, normal people. You can have that. They just want you to think that you can. That's why they try to downgrade your confidence, because they undermine your confidence to make you feel inadequate, to make you feel like something's wrong with me. That's why they left. Something's wrong with me. That's why they cheated. Something's wrong with me. That's why they went out there and did all this stuff. You may have had your own dysfunctions. You may have had things that, your own issues. You take accountability for that. But at the end of the day, you did not treat them the way they treated you. And for someone to say, I love you on a Monday and tell you go fuck yourself on a Friday, something is wrong. And at the end of the day, you're not a therapist. You're not a psychiatrist. You did not get into a relationship with someone to be someone's therapist, to be someone's mother, to be someone's father. If you have children, those are the children that you raise. You didn't get into a relationship to sit here and take on all this bullshit and not get paid for it at that. No. Sorry, guys. No. You guys deserve to have healthy relationships. We all do. But in order to have that, you got to understand that just like there are good people, you want to see the good in people, because what you see is yourself in them. You see yourself in them. But just like there are good people, there are bad people who make very, very crappy decisions and have had really crappy lifestyles. And unfortunately, they take it out on innocent people. Okay. Let's see. Second wave. My ex-narc keeps calling from random numbers. Been 2.5 months. Gave her multiple narc injuries. I ghosted her, and I believe I was her karma. I caught the red flags, and she knows I'm leveling up. Yeah. But if you notice, if you notice how when you're down and out, they don't really deal with you. They don't bother with you because, you're pretty much like, how much lower can you go, right? Or if you're insecure, or if you're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself because, you're going through the motions, they're not giving a damn because, of course, their supplies coming in from somewhere else. Their ego's getting stroked somewhere else. And they think that you're going to stay there. They think that you're going to stay there and you're just pretty much going to be crouched in your corner, hiding and just feeling sorry for yourself. And when you decide, I'm going to level up in life, I'm going to just, take care of myself, and you start to do that, you start to feel better, you start to look better, you start to get some status, you start to make more money, whatever the case may be. What's the first thing they're going to try to do? Well, listen, we can't be together, but I didn't really, I was young and I was dumb and I was stupid and this and that or whatever. Can we just forget the past? And, listen, even though we can't be together, the one key thing they'll tell you, well, at least can we remain friends? Friends is not a bad thing, right? Don't do it. Do not do it. Okay? Do not do it. And I learned that, can you be friends with exes? Yes, you can, but not narcissistic exes. You can't be friends with people like that. Okay? And I've learned that with my ex. He stayed friends with his narcissistic ex. And because of that dynamic, that toxic, controlling, manipulative dynamic, that soul tie never got cut, never got removed, nothing. And, that was pretty much hand in hand between the two of them, where, shit don't work out, boom, they run back to each other or they mess around, whatever the case may be. I don't really know because I wasn't paying much attention after I decided to up and leave. But at the end of the day, I know women. Okay. I'm not putting all the blame on her, but I do know women. I know how women are, especially sneaky women. I have seen her firsthand. I have seen her in action. I have seen the things that she has done to affect a man's, what's the word for it? To affect a man's reputation in that sense. I've seen it firsthand. I'm not going to sit here and talk about someone if I really didn't know, but I've seen it firsthand. So while everybody else was looking from that, looking around like, yeah, she's funny, my ex this and my ex that, and she's sitting there shaming people and putting people out on blast and talking all kinds of nonsense or whatever. Everybody was looking at her like, oh yeah, I can relate to you, girl. Oh, yeah, you know what, man, F your ex, and she was pretty much quick. She's one of those that was quick to put out on the internet, to put that just any kind of post to reflect negatively on someone who either saw through her bullshit or gave her narcissistic injury. You have female narcs who either will try to be vindictive or continue because it's like, no, I'm going to continue going because you don't tell me no. You don't reject me. And in light of all of that, yes, you do have narcissists that will continue trying. They'll continue trying because they don't like to be told no. They don't let go easily, especially if there's a way to control you, especially if you're in a position that you got some kind of status, And my response to it would be, honestly, you ain't know me then. You don't come and try to know me now. You shitted on me for whatever supply you wanted. You shitted on me. You went and betrayed me for all of that. Now all of a sudden you want to talk to me. Now all of a sudden you want to be around me. Now because why? Because you see people notice me. Because people are actually, I'm listen, you guys getting popular or whatever the case may be. Don't bother with them. Don't. Just really don't. Me personally, I'm not afraid to call someone out on their shit. I'll say it like it is. And at the end of the day, I don't have balls. I can't be emasculated. And my confidence is bulletproof. So ain't nobody hurting me over here. But, you have to really, really be careful with that because they will try to run that. Oh, well, we can't be together, but can we at least, stay in a friendship? Can we at least still be friends? And the reason they do that is because they know they already know you intimately. They know how you tick. They know your buttons. They know which heartstrings to pull at. They know all of that. They know all of it. Okay. And that's one thing my exes are never gonna have to worry about me. Because trust me, if I walk away from someone, I'm walking away for good. You will not have to worry about me coming back for you. You don't got to worry about Erica knocking at your door or calling you. Matter of fact, I already changed my phone number and I got a new phone too. I don't have anybody's number, but even if I did, doesn't matter. It wouldn't happen with me. Hi, Butch. Chatan, 4 months of discard, 2 months of no contact, blocked her from all form of contact, and she suddenly engaged to someone else. How convenient. And is planning to get married. How can someone move on with the drop of a hat? Honestly, I'm going to be 100. Everybody knows how I am here, Chatan, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you. She doesn't give a shit. She really didn't. She really didn't love. I'm not going to say she really didn't love you, but she didn't love everything that was going on. If she is clearly a narcissist, narcissists are not in love. They just like control. Okay. They don't know love because they were never taught love. They don't know how to love because they were never taught how to love. Okay. And narcissistic people, sociopaths, you know, they're basically avoidant. They're part of avoidant attachment. And that's pretty much where they keep that wall. So everything that you thought was emotions, was love, was sentiment. This is stuff that they learned. This is stuff that they learned along the way. You know, it's like the Google. The people are the Google for narcissists. They look at people's behaviors. They look at people's mannerisms. They study people. They study, you know, something, probably what she was doing with you in this relationship was based on what she learned from her last relationship, you know, whatever it is that may be. All right. She may have, who knows, maybe she read the 5 love languages. It's possible, right? I mean, you know, you have people who are in search of relationships, you know, and you have people who are in search of relationships that actually want a genuine relationship. And you have people that are in search of relationships because they want to gain something out of it. These types of people, they don't know how to love. They really, really don't. And it's, you know, it's sad because they're missing out clearly on so much, you know, and unfortunately she took your kindness, she took your, you know, your sense of vulnerability, your love, she took that as a weakness, and she managed to manipulate. If, you know, of course, if she's a Narc, she managed to manipulate you and your vulnerability to work in her favor. And now, listen, when someone moves on to the next person like that, they were never in love. And that's the truth. Because I know what it is to be in love. I personally know what it is to be in love. And even after everything happened, I didn't just move into another relationship. I didn't move on to the next person. I didn't do any of that. I focused on my healing. So if they leave you for someone else, or if they're already in a new relationship, like right after the discard, that's because they were already grooming your replacement. And I'm sorry to have to say it that way, but I have to keep it honest with you. And that's the truth. That's the God honest truth. Nope. Yeah, Heather, they have no empathy. Yashua, how do you know if you're a sociopath? Well, sociopaths are usually diagnosed at a very young age. And it's usually like around, I think, 14, 15 years old. They're diagnosed at very young teenage years. Sociopaths usually start off when they're teenagers. They're like, well, first and foremost, a lot of sociopathic people have grown up in homes where there is abuse, alcoholism, you know, and it over time, you know, from teenage years to adulthood, they have what's called ASPD, antisocial personality disorder. They're more like the loner types, very psychological, very pathological, I should say. They're known to, like, you know, growing up as teenagers or what have you, rule breakers. You know, they go out there and commit crimes. They, you know, like they would damage people's properties, things like that. You know, those are like the teenage years. And then growing up older, they have no sense of empathy whatsoever. They don't feel empathy. They do not. They're very very similar to narcissists. The only difference is that a lot of sociopaths, they have no regard for other people's lives. They have no regard for their own. So, for example, if you were in the car with someone who has ASPD, who is a sociopath, and you know it's you, a few of you, and the sociopath, um, they will be reckless in the car. They'll be reckless and not have any regard for any of your lives because they don't even care about their own. Okay, they're very very similar to narcissists, extremely. Like they're literally like, I guess you could say brother and sister. They're related to one another. They have no sense of consciousness. They're like, do they? The only difference with the sociopath and a narcissist, because a narcissist is more like on that superficial level. They're more on that, you know. It's just it's to gain attention, to gain validation, to gain something out of it. A sociopath is more about power. They're more about power. They're more about manipulating, mind games, hurting people, destroying people for power. Okay. A narcissist will run over your toes, you know, to get to the head of the ladder. A sociopath will cut off your feet just to get to the head of the ladder, you know, the head of the line. So they're very but the thing of it is, with a sociopath, they're charmers. They're big charmers too. Sociopaths are big charmers. And I've mentioned this before. A sociopath will, you know, commit a murder on a Monday and, you know, take their kids to the park on a Tuesday. That's the mind of a sociopath. They don't care. They really don't. A narcissist, you know, eventually would go into narcissistic collapse if they're not getting their supply, if they're not getting, you know, the things that they want, they're not getting their validation. But a sociopath is just pretty much, I do not give a shit. I do not care. And, you know, they would be the types that would commit crimes, like, you know, excessive crimes. And it's like with the narcissistic sociopath, I had mentioned who was diagnosed, Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was a narcissistic sociopath, and he used his charm to lure women in to trust him, right? How many of you familiar with that? They lure people in to trust them. They make them feel very welcome, very warm, very, you know, and in turn, basically what he would do. I mean, I clearly I wasn't there for the murders, but I would probably guess he went into sociopathic rage when it came to killing these people. Okay, he went into that rage, and guys, there's a difference between being insane, and being a sociopath and a psychopath. Because believe it or not, a lot of these serial killers, I believe a few of them try to plead insanity, try to plead, you know, or because you have people in the system that try to plead temporary insanity or just insanity in general. And that is very rare amongst sociopaths and psychopaths. Okay? It's rare. They are well aware. What makes someone insane is they have no conscience. They are literally unconscious when they are committing an act. A sociopath and a psychopath are clearly conscious because everything done with intention is a conscious choice. Okay, so if anybody tries to tell you, well, that person is just insane, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. They are clearly conscious. And that's why a lot of them did not get away with the insanity plea. And a lot of them got death sentences, because this was with intention. It's with motives. These are actions that were motivated by something. Okay. Anything that has motives, has intention, is considered to be conscious. I work with the system, with the criminal justice system for many years, and I've seen a lot of cases. I've seen domestic violence cases that have ended brutally, where the person has killed the other individual. I've seen, where there have been, murder charges, because they have murder and then they have murder with intention. So you see how they do by the degrees: manslaughter, murder, murder with intention. You understand? Um, it's when it's murder with intention or premeditated, it makes it worse. It's a lot worse. So a lot of these sociopaths, these psychopaths, I'm assuming their defense was insanity. You know, even Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy tried his best. He tried his best. He tried to use his charm in the courtroom. He was trying to convince the judge. The judge was not only unimpressed, but he was pissed off that he was just very arrogant. Ted Bundy was very arrogant. He was very, like, as a matter of fact. That's how a lot of narcissists are. As a matter of fact, they're very arrogant, very egotistical. And the judge saw through his bullshit. And not only did he see through his bullshit, but he told him, if you don't sit your ass down. But he ended up being found guilty regardless. So that arrogance, that superficial charm, and all of that may be used on some people, but it can't be used on everybody. But sociopaths are very, very, they're up there. They're up there on the spectrum. And if you, I have a video also, a recording on signs of a sociopath, on my channel. If Amanda has a chance, she can put up the link. It gives you some of the signs of a sociopath. And of course, I have a video on the female sociopath, which got a lot of attention. The female sociopath, it got a lot of views. It got a lot of likes. And apparently not many people talk that much about female sociopaths. But female sociopaths are, and in actuality, a female sociopath is a lot worse than a male sociopath. So, you guys can imagine what women such as myself, what we have to deal with and what we have to put up with because of females like this, because they give us a bad name, and men nowadays don't know who they can trust. Yes, Cicely, out of sight, out of mind. That's, and there you go. When you think of it less, you have less urges, you have less thoughts, you're not thinking about it as much. It's not affecting you. It's not affecting your emotions. You're actually beginning to breathe again. You're beginning to see a little bit more clearly again. And that's part of detaching. You have to detach. So when you detach, your emotions are basically, kind of being put to the side. And now you're just using your brain. You're using your logic. And you're seeing, you're now, okay, now let me jot this shit down. Everything that she did, everything that, every conversation we had, every argument, because, they love to pick arguments too, guys. So if you've dealt with a narcissist, you know what it is to have them, pick random arguments with you, just come out of nowhere and just be like, where the hell did that come from? That's part of it, guys. That definitely is part of it. Let's see. Heather, I felt depressed around the person and their family, like drained. I actually, I wouldn't say I felt so much drained, but I saw like that power struggle between everybody, that it was like that ego being thrown, and I mean, I at first thought the family was cool. You know, I had no issues. I had no qualms with them. Um, I had gotten along with everybody great, but there was always some type of drama and within that dynamic, within that family, and it was just, you know, you're sitting there witnessing it. So what are you gonna do? You don't really open your mouth. You don't say anything because it's not your place to say anything. Um, you know, certain things being said, certain looks being given back and forth to each other. Yeah, they thought I didn't notice that, and I did. I noticed a lot. Just because, you know, Erica stayed quiet doesn't mean she didn't notice a lot of stuff. And even stories that he would tell me pertaining to certain situations, it just didn't add up to me. That's how I knew he was being gaslit himself. So, you know, at that time, I'm not thinking he's abusing me. I'm not thinking he's gaslighting me, but he's telling me certain situations that just didn't add up and it didn't make sense to me. And at that time, I didn't think, you know, you're being gaslit. I'm thinking, well, maybe, you know, you should speak to so and so and say something about it because it doesn't make sense. And, you know, he would always brush it off. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll see. I guess he waited a little too late because, you know, people who gaslight you, they can only hold up so much. They can only hold up a mask so much. And then after a while, it's like their lies start to build up. Everything starts to build up. Everybody's face, you know, everybody's true face starts to come out of from behind their mask. And but that is not my family, so not my problem. Not my monkeys, not my circus. Um, Chatan, Erica, I've supported her entire family physically, mentally, emotionally, and even financially. The entire family dropped me like a hat, like I was no one, feeling utterly useless and devastated. I can definitely understand why you would feel devastated, Chatan, because that's some real grimy shit. That really is grimy. Um, Understand that you were dealing with a grimy person, so probably more than likely you're going to be dealing with some grimy family members. I mean, again, if she has you know, MPD, if she has these issues, again, it stems from somewhere. It stems from somewhere. And think about it this way. You know, you will feel devastated, you will feel hurt. I know that feeling all too well. Trust me, I had not heard one peep out of my ex's family, not one peep. Even after being in his life for almost 3 years, not one peep from anyone. Okay. um and after the fog cleared up, I understood why. I understood why. You know, so between seeing, you know, everybody's hypocrisy, everybody's two-facedness, and at the end of the day, I really don't care to be friends with people who, you know, who saw my actions and saw what kind of person I was. I mean, let's look at it this way. You saw what kind of person I was, you saw what I've done in a relationship, you saw how much I've contributed, and you didn't take that into account. And even if he managed to, let's say, tell his family, you know, that everything was my fault. I'm the liar. I'm the deceiver. I'm the dishonest one. I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm, you know, whatever, whether he tarnished my name or not. Even so, you're still smiling in my face. That lets me know a lot about you. So either way you look at it, me personally, someone else got Chitan, someone else got that girl's headache. You know what I'm saying? Well, your headache, actually. Someone else got your headache. Okay. Someone else has got to deal with that. And, you know, you see people for who they are. It's going to hurt. It is going to hurt initially, because you felt like you knew them. You felt like you were a part of their family. You felt like you were, you know, you meant something. You felt all of these things. And I get it. I get that. Um, but when that fog completely clears up and you start to really see things extremely for what they are, trust me, it's going to turn to anger for a while. But then after that, you're just pretty much going to be like, all right, you know, it is what it is. You guys deserve so much better. So don't let what other people do affect who you are. You know, it's going to affect your emotions, but don't let it, you know, these people didn't make you. They didn't create you. So don't let them break you. All right. And think of it this way. That family, all right, that accepted you in, and I'm talking to everybody, The family that accepted you in, of these people, they accepted you. They, they were kind to you. They were nice to you. They were smiling in your face. They were, hey, how are you? And we're all happy family and blah, 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 and all that bullshit, because that's exactly what it was. Trust me, they did it to the person before you, and they're going to do it to the person after you. So you don't need that kind of, you don't need that kind of negative energy in your life. Missy B, yes, he convinced me to go to a therapist. I was honest with the therapist and told me he's wrong, you're not. Yeah, and you know what the interesting thing about it is, narcissists are known to really pull the wool over a lot of therapists' heads, especially if they're really good at what they do and they're really good at the manipulation. But in the end, I mean, when it boils down to, because when I went to my therapist, I was afraid that I was the narcissist. I thought I was. And all because, codependency resembles, it kind of like mirrors the traits of a narcissist. Okay, so if you are codependent or a recovering codependent, a lot of the things you do does resemble the traits of a narcissist, which is why you would probably think that you were the narcissist, guys. Keep that in mind, okay? So if you were codependent, you can be a codependent narcissist, which is an inverted narcissist. But if you have to meet certain criteria for you to be diagnosed as a narc. Okay, so just keep that in mind before you worry yourselves and thinking, oh my God, am I a narcissist? And if you're worried about it, chances are you're not. Chances are you're not. Most narcissists don't give a damn. Okay, it's everybody else's problem. It's not me, it's you. That's their attitude. Cicely, right? Normal, healthy people don't do things they do no matter what we did. If we were that bad, they would have been left. Yes. Your ex's ex sounds like my ex, Erica. I wish I knew about your channel then. Well, you're here now, honey. So, and listen, I look at it. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, my love. I look at it this way, guys. When it boils down to it, I pay attention. I may not have paid attention to the red flags in my own relationship, but there's always a source. There's always going to be a source. And how I look at it is that these people became who they are. They weren't born that way. And I've seen that he's pretty much, my ex was pretty much triangulated between his mother and his ex. Okay, he has a soul tie with these two people, and at the end of the day, they're both, in my opinion, very manipulative. They're both one has been deceiving him for God knows how many years, while the other one's been deceiving him throughout most of his life. So at the end, I really think he went for the type of female that represented the narcissism in his life. He went for the type of female that he probably thought she was out of his league, and the chance that, he had a chance to be with her because, she's a pretty girl. I'm not going to deny that. Unfortunately, she uses that to her advantage. And, he looked at it as, well, you're out of my league, but you want me. And she took that as her opportunity to use him and make him feel like, he's the luckiest man in the world. But there was that triangulation going on there. And it's funny because I don't think Sandra's here today, but it's like that enmeshment. He's completely enmeshed with his unhealthy mother and his unhealthy ex. And I want absolutely nothing to do with it. Okay? Because if I even get involved in it, this right here will be gray. It's not going to happen. Heather, they never asked to be friends. Yeah, exactly. Thank God. Yeah, you don't want to keep people like that in your life. I mean, listen, I could not be friends with my ex. That's not going to happen. Completely not going to happen. Not after the way he treated me and after the way he lied to me. Not after the way he did everything he did. Why would I be friends with somebody like that? You know, I can't do that. He remained friends with her. They have that kind of agreement with each other, that little dark soul tie with each other. That's on them. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay? I will not be friends with someone who lies to me, who disrespects me, who treats me like an option, who pretty much just threw me, you know. I mean, listen, threw me on ice. Now he saw how cold I can get. Stephen, my worst experience with therapy with ex-narc, she tried to have me diagnosed with BPD, borderline personality disorder with manipulation, while she was the one diagnosed. And yeah, I'm telling you, like, you're the one with the issues. You're the one with the issues because you're not reacting. Like, you're not, listen, guys, you're not in the narc side, you're not the same person that I met. That's because I'm not fucking putting up with your shit, man. Because I'm not dealing with what I once dealt with. I'm not being nice about it. Now I'm being stern because, you know, you slipped up. Something slipped through the cracks. And because I'm addressing it with you. Now I'm the one with the problem. I'm the one who has bipolar. I'm the one who's borderline. I'm the one. I'm telling you guys, I thought I was borderline. He asked me, "Are you bipolar?" And I'm like, "No. What are you talking about?" And I'm like, I was so infused with what he was telling me that I'm like, shit, maybe I am borderline. Or maybe I am, you know, I have a mental disorder or something, because something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. And listen, man, you know, I don't knock people who have borderline personality disorder. I don't knock people who have bipolar disorder. It's a disorder. It's something that, you know, if you're getting help for it, hey, God bless you. I don't knock people for it. But it is not something that, if you don't have it, it's clearly not something that you want, because that's a whole nother mess of things. You know, I had to deal with codependency, and I didn't even want to deal with that, but I had to. Hi, Alicia. Long time no see, sweetheart. During Chatan says, oh, hold on a second. Cicely, 2 movies that show psychopaths mentality pretty good. Funny Games and We Need to Talk About Kevin. I've never seen those movies. I got to check those out. Yeah, Steven, the mind games are atrocious. They really are. Because it's like you're going to stoop to this level. You're really going to stoop to this level. And all for what? All for what? Amanda, it was shit, I think I forgot. The female sociopath. Oh, and signs of a sociopath. Was Eileen Wuornos a psychopath or a sociopath? What's the difference? Honestly, Heather, I don't know who that particular person is. I would have to look into it. But honestly, it doesn't really seem like there's much of a difference. It really doesn't. A psychopath, the only difference is between a psychopath and a sociopath compared to a psychopath can at some point feel guilt. Okay? A psychopath does not. They do not feel guilt. They do not feel remorse. That's the difference between the two. You know, the psychopath is more on the scale, like up there. Like, if you're dealing with a psychopath, get the hell away from them. Seriously. Get away from all of them, but especially a psychopath. But they have no sense of remorse, no sense of guilt, no sense of shame. They have nothing. Okay? A sociopath at some point can feel a sense of remorse, in a sense of guilt, but a psychopath does not. It's like, hi, no narc. Magnificent. How are you, sweetheart? Alicia, after being married to the narc 7 years, I have not heard a peep. either from his family. He got married 7 months later, still not a peep. The family knows. They want in on the spoils and abuse. Of course. It runs one of a few ways, guys. If the family knows, okay, that they sometimes they'll play along, because if depending on what type of narc you're dealing with, like if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist, they're known to being very, very vindictive. They're very, like, just unbearable. Okay, overt narcissist. Very unbearable kind of people. And if they're unhappy, they can make people in their environment unhappy, which can include their family. Okay, and just like you can have narcissists in the family, you can have other types of people in that family dynamic. You can have codependents. You can have scapegoats. You can have a whole array of people. And if the narcissist that comes from that family is the type of person that is an unbearable person to be around when they are upset, when they are enraged, when they are depressed, whatever the case may be, the family will go with the narratives. They'll run with the narratives of the dynamic just to keep the narcissist from reacting or like taking out their anger on them. It could go that way too. So you can have family members that are very hypocritical, very two-faced, very all about gaining something out of it, or you can have the kind of family that actually fears the narcissist, and that's the only reason why they're going along with it. So we gotta we gotta look at both sides. Hi, Raphael. It's funny how the narcs kidnap your emotions. It's more like they're like it's like a magnet, really. That's really what it is. It's like a magnet. It's pretty much like you're emitting emotions, and they're just kind of taking and taking and taking and taking. But you notice how they love to take and take and just bathe in it, but they won't really reciprocate that to you. But so I am now confused. I never heard of any of this stuff before narc abuse. Psychopath, but I did wish for my ex and her boss to find harm, just too lazy to go to jail. Am I somewhere in the middle? No, but you're not, you are in a position like any other victim, any other survivor. You're in a position of, you want to see them pay. You want to see them pay. And because, we know that karma builds up for us if we act on it, we're kind of like, allowing God, the universe, to pay them for what they put us through. A lot of people want to see the people who have caused pain emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. They want to see them pay. It's normal. It is normal to want to see people who have slighted you, who have disrespected you, who have hurt you, who have done all of these things to you. It is normal to want to see them pay for what they have done. I would find it to be highly irregular if you didn't, because that's our human nature. No matter how nice you are, no matter how good of a person you are, no matter how sweet you are, that is our human nature. We want to see them pay for what they did, because we gave and we gave and we gave and we gave. And for them to do all of this and then, they get away with it. Nobody gets away with anything. Nobody does. Okay. A narcissist is one, and I've explained it, guys. A narcissist is one who fears abandonment. Okay. They fear abandonment. They fear being alone. That's why they move on from relationship to relationship, or they move on from dynamic to dynamic. It doesn't even have to be another relationship. They could just get involved with someone else, someone else on the side, or someone else that they got a friends with benefit with, whatever the case may be. But it's the irony is they're avoidant. They avoid emotions, they avoid commitments, they avoid relationships in that sense. Not relationships, they avoid the work that it takes to create a healthy, strong relationship. They give you the impression that they are giving you a healthy, strong relationship. They give you the impression that they are doing right by you, that they're doing right by your relationship. These are all impressions that they are leaving. But the reality of it is, guys, narcissists, number one, they cling on to their freedom. Okay? They cling on to their freedom. They pretty much want relationship benefits without really putting in the work, without really attaching, and without really becoming emotionally invested. Okay? Since they know that you are not going to have it where, let's just say I'm a narcissist and I say, listen, I just want to have all the benefits of a relationship, but I don't want to put in the work. But you tell me, well, Erica, I want not only the benefits of the relationship, but I think, I want to be with someone who is willing to put in the work. And because you have something that I can gain out of this whole thing, me being the narcissist, yeah, I'm going to manipulate you. I'm going to give you the idea. I'm going to convince you that I'm invested in you. I'm invested in this relationship. I'm invested in, and then depending on what type of narcissist I am. If you are up there in the corporate ladder and I'm a somatic narcissist and I want nothing but all the good luxuries of life, and you got money in the bank, you got money in your pocket. Sure, why not? Why not? Why not give you the impression that I love you? Why not give you the impression that I'm here for you and I want to I want nothing more than to be with you. And you buy me all types of luxurious things. You take me on these fancy trips. You take me all over the world. I'm traveling. I'm doing all of this. And all I am doing is giving you the impression. I'm not emotionally invested in you. I'm not emotionally involved with you, but I'm giving you this impression. And I'm getting everything that I wanted in return. They know for a fact that they're not going to get away with just telling you, I want the benefits of a relationship, but I don't want to be tied down. That's how they are. They don't want to be tied down. They're commitment phobes. Okay. And and logical people will say, but Erica, why the hell go through all of that? My question is, why the hell not? You understand? This is why I tell people to be very discerning, be very careful. Okay. People are so good at creating such illusions, and they're so good at charming people that before it even strikes, like you wouldn't even know what hit you. You really wouldn't. I'm not gonna sit here and say that my situation is the same, because he wasn't a charmer. He wasn't charming me. I already knew that man had an attitude within 10 seconds of meeting him. I already knew what I was going to be dealing with, but I didn't realize the extent of it. I already knew what type of person he was. And me being who I am, part of me felt, if I'm just myself and I'm calm and I just, I'm a very, soft person, I'm a soft spoken person. And even so, in our relationship, because there were good times, guys, I'm not going to deny that, but I don't stay stuck on that. He even told me, I like the vibe that I'm feeling when I'm with you. I feel calm. I feel at peace, and I'm a very peaceful person. I don't like drama. I don't like bullshit. I don't like games. I'm a very peaceful person. And that was it was very comforting for me to know, because I said, okay, this is who I am. This is who I'm always going to be. But when you're dealing with someone who's so used to chaos, and toxicity is normalized, and toxicity is just something that is more it's more up their alley. When you try to give them something that is completely opposite of what they're used to, you know, because they walk in their minds, they're in survival mode, guys. These people are in survival mode. They're always constantly in survival mode. That's what we have to understand. They are in survival mode. So if you're dealing with a narcissist, their thing is, I hurt you before you hurt me. I lie to you before you lie to me. Okay? If there's a zombie apocalypse, it's either my life or yours, and I'm saving my own life. That's how these people think. This is why they put themselves ahead of you. This is why they have that inflated self, that sense of self-importance. This is why, because it's pretty much they're out for themselves. They have been trained to believe that because their parents did not validate them. Their caregivers did not validate them. And then the fact that they get involved with people that represent the narcissist in their lives, pushing them even further, they didn't validate them either. So it's like, you know what? Nobody's going to validate me. Nobody's going to give me, give me the boost that I need, give me the encouragement that I need. I got to do it. I got to be for myself, and they got to fend for themselves. They won't rely on you emotionally. They're not going to rely on you to, and it's crazy because when you are contributing to your relationship and you're giving, you see how you guys were giving and you were giving, constantly giving to them. And the minute you mention it to them, oh, but I was doing all of this for you. But wait a minute. I was loving you. I was caring. I was doing. What's their response? I didn't ask you to do that. You did it on your own. Selfish people. They do not care. And if there's anybody standing on the fence with these, sitting on the fence with these people, wondering, I can change, you can't change them. You cannot change them. Okay? You cannot change them. Do not think that you can change them. Do not think if you love them more, if you constantly, people are going to tell you, oh, but they just need patience. They just need love. They need a fucking kick up the ass by God. That is what they need. Okay? The more you continue to try to put in, the more you continue to try to think, well, let me show them this. Let me show them that. Honey, I've been there. I've done it. I've been there. I've done it. Okay? I tried to show him love, more love. I tried to show him that it was okay to trust. I tried to show him that I'm not here to screw him over. I tried to, show him that he can see, like there is such a thing called love. I tried to show him I am not like your ex. I tried to show him I am not here to betray you. I tried to show him I have your back. And while he stabbed me, and here's the thing, they'll stab you in the back. They will betray you with their actions. But what they failed to understand is that when my ex failed to understand was when he stabbed me in my back, okay, I was standing facing him. And the reason I was standing facing him was because I was seeing all the shit that was going on behind him, because that's how much I had his back. So when he stabbed me in my back, he ended up stabbing himself in his own chest. That's what they failed to understand. But in the end, this is what they choose. That's what they chose. And it does not have to change who you are. It can change you for the worse, or it can change you for the better, guys. This is why we come every week. We come together because I want you to understand this can change you for the better. It'll help you to look for signs. It'll help you to set up proper boundaries. It'll help you to know how to deal with the situation when it comes to you firsthand, because now you are no longer going to be hit with a ton of bricks from a mile away. You're no longer going to be in that position anymore. Now you start seeing red flags. You'll start noticing certain things that you do not like. You don't have a problem cutting people off. No problem whatsoever. Because you start seeing the things you don't like. You start saying to yourself, no. This is not good. This is not good for me. I went through all this healing from the last thing that I had to deal with. I'm not dealing with this again. When they start showing you signs. And these types of people will be forced. They're going to have to be forced to change. That's just the way it's going to be. Cicely, yeah, she really thought she could groom me to sit in the house and wait for her to come and go as she please. She can do whatever, but get mad if she thinks someone's talking to me at the store. Yeah, you know what? It's they try to project that onto you because they want you to think like them. They want you to kind of be like them, you know? Like, no, I'm not gonna be toxic. I'm not gonna be dysfunctional. I'm not gonna do any of those things. That's how you think. This is how you live. This is what you want to do. Then you go ahead and you do it. That's not on my path. That's not part of who I am. That's how you want to be. That's on you. I'm not going to be like that. I was toxic in my own way, guys, because I was codependent. And I was codependent because I craved the validation, you know? And at the end of the day, and I was talking to Amanda about it, you know, one, he's not the first man to disappoint me. He's not the first man to hurt me. Okay. The most important man in my life managed to do that already. So it doesn't really matter. You know, nobody can hurt you more than the people who were supposed to really truly be there for you and have your back, the people who brought you into this world. Okay. And at the end of the day, they're hurting you because the people that they trusted, the people that were supposed to protect them, they didn't protect them. They didn't protect them. They had parents or caregivers who were very selfish. They had parents or caregivers who chastised them, emasculated them, manipulated them, you know, made them feel that vulnerability was a weakness. These types of people had to grew up in homes like that. And it's sad. They walk with trauma, but at the end of the day, do something about it. Now, if they're not willing to do anything about it, okay, then you don't want to do nothing about it. That's you. Don't stay. You don't have to stay in that. You don't have to stay in that. People stay with narcissists on their own. You have people who do stay in relationships knowing that they're narcissists. And I was having this conversation with Leah yesterday, in that if they were more forthcoming in what it is, that whatever mental health issues they have, whatever personality disorders, whatever the case may be, if they were more forthcoming and they gave people the option to decide if they want to continue with them with this knowledge of their issues, that's a different story. But to me, that's like entrapment. It's entrapment. You're basically you're you know, you're entrapping me in this, and you knew you had issues, you knew you had problems, and yet they know they have problems, they just don't want to admit they have problems. Okay, so as much as they want to sit there and say, well, I'm not the problem, you are. Listen, if you went through 10 different relationships and each and every one of those relationships ended because you said they were wrong, all 10 of them, really though, all 10 of these people that are saying the same thing about you, you're sitting here saying, no, it's all of them? No, I don't think so. Let's see. Alicia, the narc is disordered. You can't fix the unfixable. You can't. You will drop dead trying and they will still be disordered. Yep. I learned that, you know, no matter how much love I showed, no matter how much I cared, I still got gaslit, I still got blamed, I still got you know, I got the paranoia, I got yelled at, it just was so horrible, man. And I was like, and I didn't treat this person like garbage. I treated them with kindness. I treated them with fairness. I treated them like a human being. I treated them the opposite of everybody else who was treating them like crap. And I still got the shitty end of the stick, all while everybody else got to stay in the dynamic. That's when I was like, all right, you like these types of people in your life. You like the toxic lifestyle, clearly. And you're not going to make me toxic. You're not going to turn me toxic. It's not going to happen. Okay. Me agreeing to be a toxic person is sacrificing my son, sacrificing the dynamic. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Man, maybe other people don't give a damn about their kids and they do what they do, but that's not me. I'm not doing that. I'd rather just have a peaceful, quiet life in my home with my son by myself and just being happy. I may be alone, but I'm happy. And that's fine with me. It's perfectly fine with me. And at the end of the day, guys, I know some of you are still in different stages of your healing. Some of you are still in different stages of your the process. And I get it. Some people it takes, the healing may take longer than others. I completely understand and I completely get it. And that's why we're here. We're here to help you, but just keep in mind, you have to want to help yourselves. You have to want to basically don't procrastinate. In other words, if you're going to take the road less traveled, take the road less traveled and just, trust yourself that you're going to make the right choices. But understand all of that, because a lot of us get stuck on those good times. Don't get stuck on those good times, because those good times were only put there to keep you stuck, to keep you in that bullshit cycle. You have to consider, your mental health, your mental health, your physical health. You have to consider these things. Okay? These people do not change. And over time, you would think, well, they're getting older. Matter of fact, when they get older, they get worse. They become more bitter, especially when you have narcissists that are getting old, like female narcissists, when they're starting to lose their looks, when they're starting to, that their charm isn't working anymore. A lot of them will either, resort to going back to old supply, meaning trying to lure back in exes, or if they do have someone that they really don't want to be with, but they have no choice, they'll settle. They'll just settle. They'll settle because that charm, that, that shit that they used to do back when they were younger and they were putting this stuff on display, like they had made of gold, it's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. A lot of men are wising up. A lot of men are wising up, and I'm glad, because when the time comes that I decide I want to start dating again, and I decide that I want to get involved with someone, I'm not putting up with nobody's bullshit. I'm really not gonna do it. Amanda's gonna have to start doing the lives, because she's gonna be like, listen, she got arrested for assault, because I'm done. I'm done being nice. Chitan, I missed your question. Hold on a second. Oh, Cicely, you put me on ice. Now you'll see how cold I can get. That could be on a t-shirt. See? Yes, see? You see, I knew my sayings. See, Amanda, I told you, I knew my sayings and my analogies and stuff is I got so many things that I want to do as far as the t-shirts are concerned. I'm definitely gonna get that together. I actually started following someone on Instagram who's an artist, and I want to see what he can do. During my relationship, one of my close friends died at a young age, and I told my ex Narc. I was crying, and she started talking about the Valentine's Day plan. I was stunned. Are these narcs so emotional? Yeah, no, they are. They don't care about other people's issues. They don't care about other people's issues. They don't care if your friend died. Okay, so I guess, what are we gonna do about it? They don't care. They don't. And it's crazy, because I when I bumped into my ex, and my brothers were out here. My brothers came. I have one brother who lives in Colorado, and I have another one who lives in Texas. Their grandmother had passed away. We have separate grandmothers on our father's side. Their grandmother had passed away, and they came out here to stay with me. And that was around the time that I bumped into my ex. And we were talking, we bumped into each other, and I said, yeah, my brothers are out here to visit. Their grandmother had just passed away. It's like he totally just like phased that and just started like just talking about something else. Like he was more into what I was doing, what was going on with me. And I'm like, I kind of looked at him like, did you not just hear what I said? My brother's grandmother just passed away. None of my condolences. Not I'm sorry to hear that. Nothing. It was, oh yeah, okay, well, yeah. So what's going on? Okay, like I didn't even say it. Like it just was just doop doop, and that's it. That's it. Okay. They these listen. Again, there were certain things that he would do. There were certain things that he wouldn't do. And that was what got me confused. Okay. He had done things that I thought was from the heart. I thought these were things that were from the heart. I thought that he wanted to do certain things. He wanted to see that I would be in a good state, that I would be okay. He helped me with certain things. I never stopped to sit there and say, he's doing this for his own personal gain, and it was crazy because it's 1 minute you think it's coming from the heart, and then the next minute I was feeling sick and I was throwing up in the middle of the night. I got up, I went to the bathroom, I started to throw up, and I would have thought he heard me in the bathroom and he would have gotten up to see if I was okay, because that's naturally something I would have done. Okay. We often project onto people the things that we would do as people with emotions. I would have figured, and I think that's one of the reasons why we get mad, because it's like you say to yourself, well, I would have done this. Why didn't this person do it? But he didn't, and instead of getting up to see if I was okay, instead of getting up to, to just help me, hearing me gag in the bathroom because I'm throwing up, he was annoyed. He sucked his teeth in his sleep. Maybe he was asleep. He just was like, like, I'm sorry that my bodily functions, my vomit, I'm throwing up here, that I'm annoying you, I'm like, the people must have really desensitized you in your life. Like, for people to be like that, they had to have been completely desensitized by manipulative, conniving, deceitful people. Like, they are completely desensitized. Like, they just don't feel. I'm like, it's just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And that's kind of also the reason why when I saw that his ex was trying to come back into the picture, I'm like, bitch, you can have him. Take him. Take him. Because you went and did all the shit that you did. Everybody else, in this whole dynamic, y'all all just screw each other over and desensitize one another, manipulate each other. You do all of this stuff to each other. And it's like an innocent bystander comes in who's loving and caring and wants to, wants to be that good person to you, cares about you, genuinely cares about you, genuinely loves you. And you, man, we're bringing it here, guys. I'm bringing the woosah in, because stuff like that pisses me off. It really pisses me off to see people like that doing that to innocent people who deserve better than that. It really pisses me off. And at the end of the day, I never wished bad on him, but I only hope that the way he betrayed me, I had only hoped that, because you wouldn't wish that on your enemy, man. What you went through, you wouldn't even wish that on your enemy. And I even prayed to God and said, something, man, I wouldn't even wish, all of this. I prayed for him for quite some time. And then I stopped. I just completely stopped. And I said, God, I'm leaving it in your hands. And I'm like, I hope, people, I hope you don't get betrayed the way you did me. Because the way you did me was really screwed up. And what people don't understand is that when you betray, when you hurt someone who had nothing but good intentions for you, all for your own selfish gain, that shit's gonna come back to you. It'll come back, and it's gonna come back in a way that you least expect it. Okay? It'll bite them in the ass in the way, and it's gonna come back really from people who they thought they could trust. It's really gonna come. It's not gonna come from the superficial supply. It's not gonna come from, from anything that is means nothing to them. It's not gonna come from any of that. It's gonna come from a place where they felt even that little inkling, that little tiny inkling of, I'm good. That's where it's gonna come from. And when it bites them, it's going to bite them in the ass real hard. So much so to the point that they may even try to reach out to you, rejection or not, because you were the best fucking thing that ever happened to them. Remember that. The good times with the narc were just emotional traps for us. It's the golden period designed to lower your guard and gain your trust. They want you hooked so they can show you who they really are. In the end, yeah. Because at that point, by the time everything's said and done, when the discard happens, it's like you're so deep in, you're so caught up in it, you're deep in it, that while they are, and it's crazy, while they're in the midst of doing whatever it is they do with their new supply, or gaining whatever attention somewhere else, you're in that that mist of confusion. You're in that mist of, listen, he tried to play it off like, oh, I'm confused. I don't know what I want. I don't know this. I don't know that. Really? You sure about that? I don't know. I'm not stupid. I'm almost 40 fucking years old. I am not stupid. And you are not about to sit here and play this bullshit on me like your ex did to you. That's not happening. Okay? That may have worked on other people. That may have worked on you, but that doesn't work on me. And I'm the kind of person, guys, you guys already, have gotten to know me over the time of this channel, but I'm the kind of person, you betray my trust. You betray my trust, and it's a wrap. It is, there is no fixing it. There is no, oh, Eric, because you want to know about Capricorns? Capricorns are very stubborn people. We're very hard-headed. We can be hard-headed at times, but we're very loyal. We're very, very loyal people. And I'm extremely loyal. I am extremely loyal, especially if you have not given me any reason to think otherwise. But the minute you break my trust, you might as well just take my number out of your phone. Take my number out of your phone. Take me off your mailing list. Get me off of your email list. Take me off of social media. Do all of that, because I will want nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you. I do not. Once I can't trust you, that is it. It makes no sense for me to be around you. It makes no sense. Narc or not, sociopath or not, you misuse my trust. You give me a reason not to trust you. And then you try to bullshit me on top of it. You try to sit here and gaslight me and tell me it wasn't like this. It was never like that. So not only did you break my trust, but you're trying to play me for a fool, and you're trying to lie to me, and you're trying to, and you're trying to sit here like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Ooh, child. I don't think so. Narc stands for nefarious, angry, resentful, contemptible. These people have no compassion or empathy. We don't have to hate them, but yes, you don't have to hate them. In fact, they want you to hate them, guys. They want you to hate them. Believe it or not, a narcissist wants you to hate them, because they want you to continue to have some type of emotional imbalance when it involves them. They want you to hate them. Okay? They'll look at you and be like, oh, you hate me? Do you hate me? Do you hate me? No, I don't hate you. I really don't. I don't hate you. But I now learn that you hate yourself. So that's something you have to deal with. I don't hate you. I don't hate anyone. Me personally, I don't hate anyone. I you know, I just cut people out. That's what we do, guys. We cut them out. Okay. It's like a tumor, right? You cut it, you find out you have a malignant tumor, you know. I mean, listen, I've had benign tumors before and I've had them removed. But if you find out you have a tumor, you have it removed, because a tumor can be deadly. It can be cancerous. It can affect your health. It can affect your life. That's the same thing with a narcissist. They're tumors. They are tumors. And at the end of the day, you know, you learn your lesson, you move on from it. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. You want to get back at them? You want to, hurt them? Live your life. Move on. Live your life. Become a success. What was it I saw? Turn your pain into gain. That's what you do. Turn your pain into gain. Use your pain as a way to really, really progress in life. Help other people, start a channel, do something, but keep it going with as much awareness as we need. We need awareness, guys. We need awareness. I was on a Skype with someone. I was on a Skype with someone from the UK, and we were talking on Skype for a few hours. And I told her, that what is it? I think it was pre-pandemic. It was pre-pandemic. I did the studies on finding out the numbers. 160 million people in the United States back in 2019. This was in 2019. 160 million people are victims of narcissistic abuse. And I didn't come to realize when I was talking to her, she's from the UK. She's from the other side. This is in the United States alone. The 160 million victims of narcissistic abuse. This was back in 2019 when I read these numbers. After this pandemic hit, where people had to quarantine and people had to stay in their homes and deal with these narcissists, live with these narcs, okay, because they had nowhere else to go, whether it's family or it's relationships. You know what? Let's see. I'm, as a matter of fact, going to look up the numbers. And let's see. Look at this. Guys, approximately 326 million people in the US. 326 million people in the US. Oh, wait. Let me rephrase that. It says, you know what? I just gotta start reading stuff first. Okay, there are approximately 326 million. I didn't want to scare you guys. Let's see. Okay, so all right, 326 million people in the US, right? That's the approximate. And 6% of them have narcissistic personality disorder, which equals 19,560,000 people. 19,560,000 people have been diagnosed or are, have narcissistic personality disorder. So if each of those people narcissistically abuse just 5 people during their lives, that amounts to an additional 97.8 million people. I'm still flabbergasted by how 6% of people in the US have NPD or suffer from this disorder, and that is equivalent to 19,560,000 people. Yet, we as survivors, we as advocates, we as victims are bitter people. We're just bitter people, guys. We are just bitter. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just bitter people who can't get over the fact that people just don't want to be with us. We just can't get over the fact that they went and did whatever it is they wanted to do, and we're just mad. We are just hating on them. Man, whew. Okay. I want to, and this is crazy, guys. Let's see. I want to see, because when I did my study, so it says, because I guess the numbers, because before it was 160 million, which is still the same thing. Narcissistic abuse affects over 158 million people in the US. It affects over 158 million people in the US. Okay? 158 million people. And that is with, of course, people who are victims of narc abuse, people who are narcissists, who were created that way because they're victims of narc abuse. Okay? And the more you go into it, you know, guys, it truly, truly, truly is. It's sad. It truly is a sad situation. It really is. And I wish we can do something to change it, which we can. We can. We may not be able to help them, but we can help other people who deal with them. We can help other people discern these people. We can help other people get through the motions with these people, because these people, it's a plague. It really is a plague, and it's gotta stop. It's gotta stop, dude. It really does. Damn, and they probably target 5 people at a time. Because people that they have as flying monkeys, people that they have as supply, remember, they rotate supply, they rotate people around, you know. So if you were dealing with a narcissist and that person had like 4 other people up under their wing, there goes your 5. There goes your 5, guys. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up, you know. This is truly it's truly an epidemic. It really, really is. It's sad, it's bad, and at the end of the day, I know that there are people who are not going to like me for what I'm doing, what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, and it's fine. I mean, I'm not here to impress, impress anyone, as long as I know that the right people are listening, and the right people are getting the message and they're appreciating it. And 160 million people, guys. I mean, come on. That's victims of narc abuse. And I think the awareness, narcissistic abuse awareness day, I think it's in June. If I'm not mistaken. It is June 1st. The World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day on June 1st dedicates the day to education, support, and effective change. Unlike physical abuse, narcissistic abuse leaves no physical marks. It's a form of psychological and emotional abuse. It is invisible and difficult to prove. It's invisible and difficult to prove, because people think that abuse really means that you have to have scars all over yourself. That's not the case. That's not the case, okay? Scars can be up here, scars can be in here. So just keep that in mind, guys, because some people will be like, oh, well, that person was abusive. What are you talking about? I never put my hands on you. You didn't have to put your hands on me to abuse me. You abused me mentally. You abused me emotionally. And the only reason nobody else could see it was because I was too busy being stuck in the fog with you and painting this idea that I was happy, when the reality is You were manipulating me. You were, you were making me feel inadequate. You were making me feel like I had to walk on eggshells. You were making me feel like, I was doing something wrong constantly. You were making me feel like I wasn't good enough. Oh, well, I'm here to tell you guys, you all are good enough, okay? And you don't need to have anyone else who clearly is just as human and just as imperfect to be sitting here telling you otherwise. Because at the end of the day, if you were me, well, listen, I tell you what you can tell them to do, okay? But, I'm one who tells people to put cactuses up their asses, so I don't know if you really want the advice from me. There were times she used to wake me up at night and start a fight for no reason, something which was irrelevant and something that happened months ago, and I was like, some kind of devil creeped in her. She was probably doing something that she shouldn't have been doing. And that's why she started a fight with you, because she wanted to justify whatever actions she was doing by creating that. They bring up shit that you've done, and that, if you were sorry about it, if you were apologetic about it, whatever the case may be. People do make mistakes in life, guys. We're not perfect. Who says that we are? We're not. But she was probably feeling some kind of way about something that she had done. And in case you found out about it, she needed you to feel bad about something that you had done. So it kind of levels it out. It evens out the scale. I don't know what it was that you've done. You don't have to disclose that. But a lot of the time they'll pick an argument, or they'll bring up things that you thought was pretty much over and done with. You thought that, okay, we discussed, we worked through it, we're moving on to the next phase. And clearly that's not the case, because they will constantly bring up things. They will also do things very contradictory. So if, they had an issue with you on something, because narcissists are known to being passive aggressive, guys. They're not going to like flat out say anything. If they do, they're going to pretty much, they're going to say it in such a negative way that they won't flat out tell you they don't approve of something in that sense, but they'll be passive aggressive about it and giving you the the indication, like, this is making me feel some kind of way, whatever the case may be. They have a way of making you feel guilty for something that you really don't have to feel guilty about. They love to play that on you. And that was like another thing for me. That was something where he made me feel some kind of way about certain things. He didn't want deep, I knew he didn't want me to have certain things like social media or whatever. And he goes and he does it anyway himself. Then when I bring it to his attention, it's, oh, you're insecure, you're this, you're that. Really? 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 Okay. All right. Cool beans. No problem. All right. So last question. One more question, Erica. What to do with the smear campaign? How did you deal with that? Well, I never got smeared. I didn't get smeared. You had no reason to smear me. I never got smeared. Because, see, I'm one, you don't want to fuck with me. That's just me. You don't want to. Especially when my bite is as big as my bark. Like, I don't, I think, thankfully, I mean, other people, unfortunately, they've had to deal with certain things. I've never had the smear campaign done. Then again, I block so many people, and I don't go to people's profiles. I don't go to people's pages. I don't talk to anybody from my past. I don't talk to anybody from my last relationship. I don't deal with anything when it boils down to his family. I don't deal with any of his, I mean, we have a couple of mutual friends in common, but I they don't say anything to me. I mean, not in that sense, like, they, say things as far as like, how you doing and stuff like that. We comment in each other's pictures, but other than that, I don't have any indication of a smear. They know better than to try to smear my name because, you know, the way I see it is, you may have heard some things about me, but I've heard plenty about you too. So people know to leave me the fuck alone, and they've been doing it. So, but no, I've never been smeared, and if I have been smeared, more than likely it's being done under the radar, because if I were to catch wind of it, or if I were to catch something from someone, that's like opening up Pandora's box. And I'm no longer in victim mode. I'm no longer a victim. I'm beyond survivorship. And, again, it's just something that they don't want to touch. And I'm appreciative of that. I really am, because it's something that would be beneficial for them. But I've never been smeared. The way I can say is yeah, just what Alicia says. She's dealt with it. It's horrible and hurtful, but the best thing you can do is go on with your life. The truth will come out. Trust me. Yeah. I mean, if when it boils down to, if it boils down to a smear campaign, um, these people, again, they're looking for attention. They're looking for ways to gain something out of other people. I did witness him being, I guess, smeared by his ex. Um, she was putting up all kinds of stuff on her social media, and I suppose, I surmise, this was after an attempt to try to hoover him back in. And I don't know, I guess maybe he rejected her. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I truthfully think all the things that he was doing was to get a reaction out of me. Um, she tried to give she tried to point signs in that, like just kind of giving that implication that, something happened more than that what it actually was. Female narcissists are known to do this as well. They're known to fabricate things to give the impression that, either way, I mean, I was already detached from before that, from when he decided to do that real stupid nonsense. But she had put up all kinds of posts. You could just tell she was bitter. She was butthurt, I guess, and she just kept going and going and going and going. I don't know. I guess they like stopped following each other. They were like unfriended each other or whatever. So he probably did not see that. If he blocked her, he probably didn't see any of that. But then again, she has been pretty much attempting to, or has been emasculating him for many years. And I guess now he's just starting to see through her mask and see that, everything was an illusion with her. So, but like I said, me on the other hand, I cut it off a long time ago. Didn't give anybody any opportunity to try to smear me, because one, you don't want to smear my name. You don't want to smear me. And if you do, and you getting some kind of clout off of it, you're getting some kind of money off of it, you're getting some kind of whatever off of it, like I said, I want my check. Because if I don't get my check, you will be speaking to my lawyer. Oh yes, I work with lawyers. So we know how that goes. But yeah, I would just say ignore it. Don't try to prove anything to anybody. Don't try to argue or say, oh, it's not worth it. They look for a reaction. That's the whole point of a smear campaign. It's to look for a reaction. And you just don't want to do that. You want to just show them that you have grown up, you moved on, you're doing your own thing, and that's it. That's it. These guys aren't worth it, guys. I don't want to find out anybody went to jail. Okay? You guys, I need you guys here every Tuesday. I need you guys here so we can have our weekly talks, updates, and all that good stuff. So guys, whew, I actually am really, really glad that I decided to do this live sitting from my bed, because not only is it comfortable, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I got my PJs on too. So I got my little reindeer pants, my reindeer pants on, because after I'm done with this, cleaning off this whole entire thing and, going to bed looking like a whole totally different person. But Guys, thank you so much for being here. You guys are awesome, man. You guys are truly, truly awesome. Thank you, Chitan. Thank you for showing up. Thank you all of you for being here. Thank you all for participating. Thank you all for joining and, helping each other out. That's what we're here for, right? We help everybody out, especially if I can't answer the question right away. You guys move right in and you do it. And I love that. I love that. And it lets me know that you guys are really progressing. You guys are really getting there. You guys are really just doing a damn thing. And I'm really happy for all of you. I really, really, truthfully am. And for anybody who's new to the channel, just know that we're not just, it's not just a chat. It's a family. It's just everybody gets together and yeah, one Gray Rock. I mean, depending on your situation, if you have children, you have to go Gray Rock. You have to. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Mama, for showing up. Gray Rock, does work, and it just you stay as still as a rock. I did want to talk about in this session. I'm gonna have to wait until next week's session. Just remind me, please remind me. We're gonna talk about the sex when it boils down to sex with a narcissist, and because you have so many different types, I did want to give you the pertinent information in regards to that matter. So we're going to talk about the hypersexual narcissist and of course the opposite of hypersexual narcissist. But I wanted to definitely talk about that too. We'll talk about that next week. But definitely be on the lookout, guys, for the video of the week for Testimonial Thursday. I will be uploading that for you by Thursday, so you can see another survivor's testimony, and hopefully it'll help someone going through a similar situation. It'll help anyone. I mean, it's a groundbreaking testimony, and I definitely it teaches you how that even though you go through so much with these types of people, with enough dedication and determination, you can educate yourself so much to the point that it's almost as if, I mean, you never can say that you never went through it, but it's almost as if it's just almost as if you are like you didn't go through it, because you learn so much about it. It's like you become more logical. You definitely become more logical, and you just definitely become more accepting. That's the word, accepting. So I will be uploading that video on Thursday for you guys. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And of course, you already know me. Before you guys leave, definitely be sure to leave a like. If there is anything you'd like to add as far as the session is concerned, you can leave a comment in the comment section when it streams on YouTube. And of course, my email will be in the description box. If you are interested in participating for the Testimonial Thursday, definitely let me know. After this upload, there is someone else who I have to reach out to because he sent me an email letting me know that he wanted to do a testimony as well. So gentlemen, you're going to also get it from a man too. You're going to get it from a man's perspective, okay? We work for both sides. So guys, again, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all very, very, very much. I hope you like the little background. It's my little feng shui going on over here. And I will be uploading another video also, regular video, by the end of the week. And what else? I think that's it. I'm getting so comfortable. My butt is getting it's sinking in the bed. So it's letting me know it's that time. So guys, have a great week. Enjoy the beautiful weather. If you're from the East Coast, I really don't know the weather on the other side, nor up north, down south. I know down south is always hot, but it's beautiful weather out there. So enjoy it. Enjoy it all. Have a great week. I will see you all next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here. I think I'm going to start doing my lives here because it's more comfortable. All right. And if there's anything else you guys want to let me know, or if there's anything you want to ask, shoot me an email. Okay. I'll be more than glad to help you with whatever it is that you may need help with. And that's pretty much it. So guys, thank you again for being here. Love you all. Love, peace, happiness. All that good stuff. good vibes only. And I will keep you guys posted on the t-shirts, the merchandise. All right. So guys, have a great night. See you next week, guys. Bye.